His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa held an official bilateral discussion session in Beijing with the President of the People's Republic of China, President Xi Jinping, on the occasion of His Majesty's state visit to the People's Republic of China. Upon the arrival of the motorcade of His Majesty the King, he was greeted by the Chinese President. Official reception ceremonies were held for His Majesty, and the artillery fired a 21-gun salute in honor of His Majesty. Then the Bahraini royal anthem and the Chinese national anthem were played. Then His Majesty the King and the Chinese President inspected the honor guard that lined up to salute them. Then His Majesty the King and the Chinese President proceeded to the meeting hall where the official bilateral discussion session was held with the Bahraini and Chinese sides present. The Chinese President delivered a speech on this occasion in which he welcomed His Majesty's visit to China and his participation in the 10th ministerial meeting of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum. He congratulated His Majesty on Bahrain's hosting of the 33rd Arab Summit after assuming the presidency of the Arab League. President Xi emphasized the depth of relations between both countries, highlighting the importance of His Majesty's visit in terms of developing and strengthening relations.
فخامة الرئيس شي جنبين رئيس جمهورية الصين الشعبية المعالي والسعادة، تحية تقدير ومودة لفخامته، ونشكركم على حسن الاستقبال وكرم الضيافة، ويسعدنا تلبية دعوتكم الكريمة لزيارة بلدكم العظيم الذي تربطنا به علاقات صداقة نعتز بها، لنعمل من خلالها على تعزيز تعاوننا عبر تفعيل اتفاقياتنا الثنائية واستكشاف الفرص الاستثمارية المتنوعة والمتاحة لدى الجانبين لتحقيق أهدافنا وتطلعاتنا المشتركة. وتأتي زيارتنا هذه في سياق حرصنا على إحاطتكم بأبرز ما نتج عن أعمال الأمة العربية التي تتولى مملكة البحرين رئاسة دورتها 33، وثقتنا كبيرة بدعم الصين الصديقة بقراراتها التي تصب في مصلحة المنطقة وأمنها واستقرارها. وننتهز هذه الفرصة الطيبة لإبداء امتناننا لدور الصين واهتمامها المشكور بتنفيذ عدد من المشاريع التنموية في مملكة البحرين التي تبادلكم بدورها ذات الاهتمام بتقوية روابطنا الاقتصادية التي تعود بتاريخها لسبعينيات القرن الماضي، ونفتخر بالإشارة إنشاء مجددا لأول شحنة ألمنيوم أرسلتها البحرين لبلدكم الصديق منذ ذلك التاريخ. أما اليوم وابتداء مع زيارتنا هذه فقد قامت ناقلتنا الوطنية طيران الخليج بإطلاق رحلاتها الجوية المباشرة لمدينة شانغهاي وغوانزو. وكلنا يقين فخامة الرئيس بأننا على الطريق الصحيح لتنمية علاقاتنا الاقتصادية بمجالاتها الواعدة. كما نقدر بهذه المناسبة مساندة الصين لانضمام البحرين إلى منظمة شانغهاي للتعاون، وما يعكس التكاتف القوي بين بلدينا على الساحة الدولية. ونتطلع كذلك الانتهاء من المفاوضات الجارية بين مجلس التعاون والصين لإنشاء منطقة تجارة حرة تعزيزا للتبادل التجاري والاستثماري بين المنطقتين. فخامة الرئيس إننا ملتزمون بترسيخ ونشر قيم السلام والتسامح والتعايش الإنساني، وندعو إلى حل الصراعات والنزاعات ومنح الشعوب أبسط حقوقهم الإنسانية كحق الحياة اللائق والتمتع بالصحة الجيدة والحصول على التعليم الأساسي، وهو ما أكدت عليه قمة البحرين التي عقدت مؤخرا بما طرحته من قرارات ومبادرات نسعى من خلالها إلى تعزيز العمل العربي المشترك وسبل التعاون مع الدول الصديقة لحفظ الأمن والاستقرار الإقليميين وتحقيق الرخاء لشعوب المنطقة. ونسعى إلى عودة العلاقات الدبلوماسية مع إيران كجار، ونرحب بدعمكم لهذا المسعى لإرساء السلام وعودة الاستقرار في المنطقة.
The two sides discussed the course of bilateral cooperation relations, the advanced level they have reached, and ways to develop joint cooperation and elevate it to border horizons to serve the interests and goals of the two friendly countries and people. His Majesty praised the continuous development and progress achieved by the People's Republic of China in economic growth, comprehensive development, technological advancement and innovation, affirming the keenness of the Kingdom of Bahrain to enhance bilateral cooperation to benefit from the advanced Chinese experience in various fields. His Majesty emphasized the pride of the Kingdom of Bahrain, its leadership and people, in its deep-rooted historical relations with the friendly People's Republic of China, noting the high international stature of the People's Republic of China as a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, its efforts to maintain international peace and security, and its constant support for just Arab causes, foremost of which the Palestinian cause. Praising the position of the People's Republic of China in the Security Council, which supported the permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the acceptance of the State of Palestine as a full member of the United Nations. For his part, the Chinese president expressed his appreciation for the wise approach followed by the Kingdom of Bahrain and its development path and international relations and its efforts to solidify the values of tolerance, human coexistence and cultural communication. He praised the hosting by the Kingdom of Bahrain of the 33rd Arab Summit and its great successes in enhancing Arab cooperation at all levels. The Chinese president praised the firm Arab positions of the Kingdom of Bahrain under the leadership of His Majesty the King and his honourable role in supporting Arab issues and enhancing joint Arab action, as well as His Majesty's wise positions towards the issues of the region and his efforts to establish peace and regional stability. During the session, regional and international developments of common concern were discussed, as well as the latest developments in the Middle East, especially the efforts to stop the fighting in the Gaza Strip and provide unimpeded humanitarian assistance to alleviate the suffering of the population of the Strip. The two sides emphasized the need to work for an effective international move for the peace process in the Middle East to achieve a just and lasting peace in the region, the withdrawal of Israel from the occupied Arab territories and the establishment of an independent Palestinian state on the basis of the two-state solution and international legitimacy resolutions to ensure peace and stability in the region. The two sides also stressed the importance of the role of the United Nations Security Council in maintaining international peace and security and resolving global conflicts and disputes through diplomatic dialogue and negotiations in accordance with the rules of international law to ensure peace and stability for the people of the the world and to dedicate international efforts to address pressing international challenges and issues, foremost of which are sustainable development, the environment and climate change, food security, cybersecurity, combating terrorism and its financing, and preventing nuclear proliferation. After that, His Majesty the King and His Excellency the Chinese President witnessed the signing ceremony of a number of agreements and memorandum of understanding between the two countries. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Finance and National Economy of the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China on the establishment of a working group for investment and economic cooperation. The memorandum aims to establish a working group for investment and economic cooperation to develop economic, technical and trade cooperation between the two countries. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Minister of Finance and National Economy Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the Minister of Commerce Mr. Wang Wentao. The Memorandum of Understanding between Bahrain Mumtalakat Holding Company Mumtalakat and the China Investment Corporation CIC. The memorandum aims to cooperate and explore potential investment opportunities between the two companies. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Minister of Finance and National Economy and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Mumtalakat, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the Chairman and CEO of the China Investment Corporation, Mr. Peng Cheng. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Health in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the National Committee of the People's Republic of China on cooperation in the health field. The memorandum aims to enhance the friendly relationship between the two countries in the fields of health, medical sciences and health issues on the basis of equality and mutual benefit. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdulatif bin Rashid Al-Zayani, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the Minister of the National Health Committee, Mr. Li Hiachao. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology in the People's Republic of China on industrial zones. The memorandum aims to enhance industrial partnerships and mutual benefit between the two countries in accordance with their laws. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Minister of Industry and Commerce Abdullah bin Adil Fakhru, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the Minister of Industry and Information Technology, Mr. Jin Zonglong. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Industry and Commerce in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Ministry of Commerce in the People's Republic of China on e-commerce. The memorandum aims to enhance e-commerce between the two countries on the basis of reciprocity and mutual benefit. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Minister of Industry and Commerce Abdullah bin Adil Fakhru, while it was signed on the Chinese side by the Minister of Commerce Mr. Wang Wentao. A memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Industry and Commerce of the Kingdom of Bahrain and the Ministry of Commerce of the People's Republic of China on the digital economy. The memorandum aims to enhance the digital economy and invest between the two countries in implementation of the 14th five-year plan 2021-2025 for national economic and social development and long-term goals until 2035. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Minister of Industry and Commerce Abdullah bin Adil Fakhru, while it was signed on the Chinese side by the Minister of Commerce Wang Wentao. A memorandum of understanding for cooperation between the National Space Science Agency of the Kingdom of Bahrain and the China National Space Administration of the People's Republic of China. The memorandum aims to intensify efforts in the field of outer space exploration and its use for peaceful purposes and to organize training programs in the field of space science, technology and applications. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Political Affairs, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the Director of the China National Space Administration, Mr. Zhuang Qijing. Cooperation agreement between the Bahrain News Agency and the Xinhua News Agency on the People's Republic of China. The agreement aims to enhance and define the form and areas of cooperation between the two parties in the field of news and information exchange. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Political Affairs, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the President of the Xinhua News Agency, Mr. Fu Hua. A memorandum of understanding between the National Communications Center and the China Media Group. The memorandum aims to enhance mutual cooperation between media outlets and institutions in the Kingdom of Bahrain and China and to further deepen Bahraini-Chinese relations. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Political Affairs, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the Chairman and Editor-in-Chief of the China Media Group, Mr. Chen Haizyong. A memorandum of understanding between Bahrain Polytechnic and Peking University on strategic cooperation in some fields. The memorandum aims to enhance mutual friendship, academic research and educational cooperation between the two institutions. It was signed on the Bahraini side by the Undersecretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Political Affairs, Dr. Sheikh Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, while on the Chinese side it was signed by the President of Peking University, Mr. Zhong Xiuwang. In honor of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Chinese President Xi Jinping hosted a dinner banquet attended by members of His Majesty the King's accompanying delegation and senior Chinese government officials. The Chinese President then bid farewell to His Majesty the King at the end of His Majesty's state visit to the People's Republic of China. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa met with the Premier of the State Council of the People's Republic of China, Li Qiang, on the sidelines of His Majesty the King's state visit to the People's Republic of China. Upon his arrival at the State Council Premier's headquarters, His Majesty the King was received by His Excellency Qiang. During his visit, His Majesty the King held a meeting with the State Council Premier where Qiang delivered the following speech. Your Majesty the King, I would like to express my happiness upon receiving you and extend my warmest welcome to your visit to China. Your Majesty, you are considered a long-standing friend of China who is highly appreciated on all occasions, and we are deeply grateful for the honor of your esteemed presence on all occasions. The history of cooperation and exchange of relations between the two countries extends for centuries, and over the past 35 years of diplomatic relations, we have shared mutual respect and taken pride in our friendship with the Kingdom of Bahrain. This has been achieved through the expansion of bilateral cooperation across various fields, which has promoted acquaintances and exchange between the people of the two countries. Today, His Excellency the President of China will hold official talks with Your Majesty, and we are committed to strengthening cooperation with Bahrain to further implement joint strategies and develop relations. Following that, His Majesty the King delivered the following speech. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, Your Excellency, Mr. Li Qiang, the Premier of the State Council of the People's Republic of China, Your Highnesses and Excellencies, we are pleased to meet Your Excellency, the Premier, and thank you for your warm hospitality. We would like to express our keenness to develop the progress of our cooperation and friendship, which enjoy a rich history dating back to the 1970s. We take great pride today for the evident closeness and mutual understanding it is characterized by, which we highly appreciate. We would like to congratulate you on the successful results of the China-Arab State Cooperation Forum, particularly His Excellency President Xi Jinping's Belt and Road Initiative. It is very important to us that we benefit from its promising opportunities to enrich cooperation with your esteemed nation. We are pleased with the significant outcomes and progress achieved through our strong partnership. During our meeting today with Your Excellency the Premier, we look forward to exploring cooperation and discussing the outcomes of the 33rd Arab Summit, which was held in the Kingdom of Bahrain. We hope for your support in implementing the summit's outcomes to promote regional stability and prosperity. We take this opportunity to express our gratitude for China's contributions to various development projects in Bahrain. and your valued support for its membership in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO. We also anticipate the outcomes of the current negotiations regarding the free trade area between the Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC, and the People's Republic of China. Your Excellency, the Premier, as advocates of peace, tolerance, and human coexistence, we believe in adopting a peaceful and diplomatic approach grounded in principles of good neighborliness and non-interference in internal affairs. We seek to resume diplomatic ties with Iran as a neighbor, and we welcome your support for this effort to promote peace and stability in the region and for working together alongside relevant parties to promotely deal with the repercussions of the situation in Palestine. We urge the international community and the United Nations Security Council to take a firm stance to stop the war in Gaza, paving the way for ending the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. We would also like to express our appreciation for China's stance on the recognition of the State of Palestine as a full member state of the United Nations and for its interest and unwavering support for just Arab causes. Once again, we express our gratitude to Your Excellency Premier for this meeting and reiterate our commitment to the One China principle, recognizing its sovereignty and territorial integrity. We wish the People's Republic of China and its people continued progress and prosperity. May the peace, mercy, and blessings of Allah be upon you. The meeting discussed means to enhance relations and strengthen cooperation in various domains, particularly in economic, commercial, investment and scientific areas, and reviewed various regional and international matters and developments. His Majesty the King affirmed the Kingdom's pride in the strategic relations with the People's Republic of China and the commitment to further enhance cooperation, highlighting the advancement of Bahraini-Chinese relations over the years on various levels, especially in the economic and commercial disciplines, based on Bahrain's approach based on strengthening its relations with different countries of the world in a way that benefits all. His Majesty the King pointed the long-standing history and shared values between the two countries. His Majesty commended China's global role and efforts in promoting cooperation with Arab countries as well as its interest in achieving stability and security in the Middle East. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa visited the National People's Congress in the People's Republic of China as part of his official state visit. His Majesty was received by the Speaker of the National People's Congress, Lei Ji-dao, who welcomed His Majesty and thanked him for his visit. A commemorative picture was taken on the occasion of the visit. During the meeting with the Speaker, His Majesty emphasized that the Kingdom of Bahrain places special importance on its relations with the People's Republic of China and looks forward to further advancing cooperation with it in various disciplines due to China's outstanding expertise and significant advancement in areas of trade, production, investment and development. His Majesty highlighted the promising investment opportunities offered by the kingdom in all sectors and its strong attributions, citing its strategic location, openness, stability, advanced and modern infrastructure and attractive regulations. His Majesty the King praised the success for parliamentary progress in Bahrain, which continues to accomplish achievements at various levels. He also expressed pride in the role of the legislative authority and significant contributions to serving the process of development and modernization in the nation. His Majesty expresses appreciation for the important role of China globally, supported by its civilizational, political, security and economic stature. He commended the role of the Chinese community and its contributions to advancing economic development and trade in Bahrain. The meeting discussed issues in regional and international developments of common interest. For his part, the speaker welcomed the important visit of His Majesty the King to China, which lays the foundation for a new phase in the strong strategic relations between the two countries. He valued the role of His Majesty in advancing those long-standing relations which continue to witness progress and development at various levels. On the occasion of the state visit of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, President of the current session of the Arab Summit, to the Chinese capital Beijing in response to an invitation from the President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, a joint statement was issued on establishing comprehensive strategic partnership relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the People's Republic of China. The Kingdom of Bahrain and the People's Republic of China, hereinafter referred to as the two sides, since the establishment of diplomatic relations between them on April 18, 1989, have remained committed to mutual respect, and the historical friendly relations between the two countries are developing with balanced steps. Mutual trust is steadily strengthening at the political level, and practical cooperation in all fields is constantly expanding and deepening. On the occasion of the 35th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the People's Republic of China, the two sides expressed their satisfaction with the great progress achieved by bilateral relations and agreed to establish comprehensive strategic partnership relations between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the People's Republic of China, and to enhance friendly cooperation between them in all fields in a comprehensive manner to better serve the two people. The following has been agreed on. First, the two sides will continue to exchange firm support and on issues related to each other's core interests. The Chinese side affirms its support for the efforts of the Kingdom of Bahrain to maintain the country's sovereignty, security and stability, and rejects any external forces interfering in the internal affairs of the Kingdom of Bahrain. For its part, the Bahraini side affirms its commitment to the One China principle and its support for China's efforts to maintain its sovereignty and territorial integrity. It also affirms its continued commitment to supporting China's position on issues related to its core interests. Second, the Bahraini side commends President Xi Jinping's proposal for the Global Development Initiative, the Global Security Initiative and the Global Civilization Initiative. The Chinese side welcomes the Bahraini side's participation in the above-mentioned initiatives, and the Chinese side expresses its willingness to cooperate with the Bahraini side within the framework of these initiatives. The two sides stress the importance of adhering to true multilateralism, maintaining the international system with the United Nations as its center and the international order based on international law and the basic rules of international relations based on the purposes and principles of the United Nations Charter, calling for global multipolarity characterized by equality and order, and economic globalization characterized by benefit to all and inclusiveness, and working together to build a community of shared futures for mankind. Third, the two sides agreed to enhance communication between them at all levels, expand communication between governmental and parliamentary bodies and between provinces and cities of the two countries, exchange experiences in management and governance, enhance policy coordination between the two sides, and continue to consolidate mutual trust at the political level. Fourth, the two sides see the continuation of Chinese-Bahraini cooperation to expand the scope of cooperation between them in the fields of infrastructure, economy, trade, investment, finance, new energy, advanced technology, agriculture, fishing, education, culture, tourism, health, and others, in order to enhance development and prosperity between the two countries. Fifth, the Chinese side congratulates the Bahraini side on successful hosting of the 33rd regular session of the Council of the League of Arab States at the summit level, which was hosted by the Kingdom of Bahrain on May 16, 2024, and the outcomes and initiatives resulting from this summit that will contribute to strengthening joint Arab action and consolidating the pillars of security and peace in the region. The Chinese side also commended the initiative of the Kingdom of Bahrain to host an international peace conference and express appreciation for the efforts of the Kingdom of Bahrain in promoting peace in the Middle East. Sixth, the two sides commended the important role played by the China-Arab Forum mechanism in promoting joint China-Arab cooperation, stressing their readiness to enhance cooperation to ensure the implementation of the outcomes of the first China-Arab summit, support the holding of the second China-Arab summit in China in 2026, and actively prepare for it, continue to devote the spirit of China-Arab friendship and work hand in hand to build the China-Arab community for a shared future towards the new era. Seventh, the two sides stressed the importance of joining efforts to implement the outcomes of the first China-GCC summit, deepening the China-GCC strategic partnership, enhancing joint cooperation between China and the GCC, and pushing for the conclusion of a free trade agreement between China and the GCC countries at the earliest opportunity. Eighth, the two sides stressed that maintaining peace and stability in the Middle East and the Arabian Gulf region serves the fundamental and long-term interests of the people of the countries in the region and supports the countries in the region to continue to settle disputes and differences through dialogue and consultation in order to implement the principle of good neighborliness in a comprehensive and lasting manner. The two sides are keen to enhance communication and coordination on regional affairs and make joint contributions to supporting peace, development and security in the region. His Majesty the King participated in the opening session of the 10th ministerial meeting of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum held in the Chinese capital, Beijing. The forum constitutes a driving force for enhancing the China-Arab strategic partnership, as the bilateral relations have witnessed a major leap since the forum's establishment 20 years ago.
The China-Arab States Cooperation Forum was established in 2004 to promote dialogue and cooperation between China and Arab countries with the aim of driving peace and progress between the two sides. One of the key initiatives born out of this forum is the biannual ministerial meeting, which brings together the foreign ministers and the Secretary General of the League of Arab States. This meeting is held on a rotating basis, alternating between China, the headquarters of the Arab League, and one of the Arab member states. The latest edition of the forum is currently taking place in Beijing, with discussions focusing on enhancing political, economic and security cooperation, as well as exchanging views on regional and international issues. Over the past 2 decades, the Cooperation Forum has yielded various other mechanisms, including high-level meetings, business conferences, and dialogues covering economic, cultural, and scientific domains. Looking ahead, the future of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum holds immense promise, with numerous areas of potential collaboration. This outlook is bolstered by Chinese President's proposal of a China-Arab Community of Shared Future, as well as China's plans to host the second China-Arab States Summit in 2026.
His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa returned to the kingdom following an official state visit to the People's Republic of China at the invitation of the President of China, His Excellency Xi Jinping. His Majesty the King held official talks with the Chinese President, focusing on bilateral relations and cooperation in addition to regional and international developments of common interest. His Majesty also participated in the opening session of the 10th ministerial meeting of the China-Arab States Cooperation Forum. His Majesty the King was received upon arrival by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Majesty the King had departed the Chinese capital, Beijing. His Majesty the King was bid farewell by the Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, Ding Li, the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the People's Republic of China, Dr. Ghassan Sheikho, and members of Bahrain's embassy to China. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a cable of congratulations from the Minister of Information, Dr. Ramzan bin Abdullah Naimi, on the success of the 54th session of the Council of Arab Ministers of Information hosted by the Kingdom of Bahrain under the patronage of His Majesty the King. The Minister affirmed that the patronage of His Majesty King Hamad was pivotal to the meeting's success in issuing decisions and recommendations of the meeting that align with Bahrain's efforts led by His Majesty the King to serve the interests of the Arab region and address challenges. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa held an official bilateral discussion session in Beijing with the Chinese President Xi Jinping on the occasion of His Majesty's state visit to China. More details in this report.
The visit of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the president of the current session of the Arab Summit, to China constituted a new stage in the process of close relations between the two friendly countries. The relations are based on mutual respect and a sincere desire to build a model of bilateral cooperation that serves common interests. At the invitation of the Chinese President Xi Jinping, His Majesty participated in the 10th Ministerial Conference of the China-Arab Cooperation Forum. In his royal speech, His Majesty the King stressed that the world is witnessing rapid developments that require intensified efforts to spread peace and maintain security and stability, especially in light of the painful situation witnessed by Gaza, and the urgent need to reach a just solution that guarantees the rights of the brotherly Palestinian people and achieves peace and stability in the region. The visit witnessed a meeting between His Majesty the King and the Chinese President, where they held an official discussion session, and many agreements and memorandums of understanding were signed in various fields, which would contribute to strengthening the bilateral cooperation between the two countries. The Bahraini-Chinese relations are characterized by the depth of cooperation and friendship between the two countries, and this visit witnessed expanded discussions, which added distinct political and economic dimensions to bilateral cooperation between the two friendly countries, during which a number of agreements and memorandums of understanding were signed in several fields. The Bahraini-Chinese relations are characterized by the depth of cooperation and friendship between the two countries, and this visit witnessed expanded discussions which added distinct political and economic dimensions to the bilateral cooperation, during which a number of agreements and memorandums of understanding were signed in several fields. From the Chinese capital, reporting for Bahrain International, I am Hamad Yusuf.
The second edition of the Omani Bahraini Product Exhibition was inaugurated in the presence of the Minister of Labour, Jamil bin Mohammed Hameidan, the Minister of Tourism, Fatma bin Jafar al-Sayrafi, and several officials from the two brotherly countries. The exhibition is organized by the Omani Bahraini Friendship Society and features 38 exhibitors representing entrepreneurs, productive families, and social security families from Bahrain and Oman. The exhibition has diverse offerings, including food, perfume, fashion, and crafts products. It also provides an opportunity to introduce business owners to the programs that help them develop their businesses. This year's edition is an extension of the success achieved by the exhibition in its first edition last year. In addition to being a platform for showcasing products, this event is an opportunity for business owners in the Kingdom and the Sultanate to forge partnerships, transfer experiences, and exchange expertise. The Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications won the United Nations Award at the World Summit on the Information Society WSIS for its project, the 6th National Telecommunications Plan, in the category of e-sciences out of more than 1,000 global initiatives. The Minister of Transportation and Telecommunications, Mohammed bin Thamar al-Kaabi, emphasized that the continued achievements in the telecommunications, information technology and digital economy sectors reflects the pioneering status enjoyed by the Kingdom of Bahrain under the leadership of His Majesty the King. and the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He noted the honourable achievements attained by the 6th National Telecommunications Plan, which is the fruit of the continuous efforts to enhance the role of the telecommunications and information technology sector in supporting the national economy and strengthening the global position of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Al-Ka'bi explained that the qualification of the 6th National Telecommunications Plan reflects the Kingdom's commitment to developing the telecommunications information sector and supporting innovation in science and technology, expressing pride in the global recognition of the plan and its achievements of a voting percentage exceeding expectations, which confirms the pioneering role of the Kingdom in the field of telecommunications information technology. He added that the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications is working to enhance international cooperation and exchange of expertise in the field of information and communications technology to achieve sustainable development. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jaila bint Sayyid Jawad Hassan, held a meeting with the Deputy Health Minister of Russia, Dr. Oleg Salagai, on the sidelines of the 77th World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland. The meeting discussed cooperation, particularly in pharmaceutical industries, and the exchange of expertise in healthcare, public health, health systems, and health insurance. It also discussed joint training and research initiatives and reviewed recent health developments regionally and globally, as well as strengthening health cooperation between the two countries. The Minister of Tourism, Fatma bin Jafar al-Sayrafi, affirmed the depth of the historical relations between Bahrain and China and the continuous developments and growth witnessed in these relations across various fields. This came on the occasion of the launch of the direct flights to Zhangzhou and Shanghai on Gulf Air, the national carrier of the Kingdom of Bahrain. Al-Sayrafi explained that the Chinese market is considered one of the most prominent target markets within the tourism strategy 2022-2026, as it contains promising tourism opportunities for Bahrain and the region as a whole, stressing that the work is ongoing with the private sector to launch tourism packages for Chinese tourists. She pointed out that the Ministry of Tourism and the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority, BTEA, are working on studying the interests of the Chinese tourists and learning about Chinese culture and customs with the aim of attracting a large number of Chinese visitors. The Marine Wealth Directorate of the Supreme Council for the Environment announced the end of the fishing ban for spangled emperor rasheri, rabbitfish, safi and sea bream andak in Bahrain's territorial waters effective today. The Directorate praised the cooperation and national responsibility demonstrated by the fishermen throughout the period of the ban, stressing that the protection of fishery resources and ensuring their sustainability in the territorial waters is a priority. The Directorate confirmed that the decision to ban fishing for these fish species was part of the measures taken by Bahrain to protect marine resources and maintain stock levels to enhance environmental balance and rehabilitate the ecosystem.